She is coming on. Hey, beautiful.
Hello, how are you?
I am well. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Thank you so much for having me. I was so excited about being here.
And I'm excited for you to be here. Do you have your tea? Do you have your tea?
Well,
you got some tea with you?
tea. I don't have my tea, but I have my smoothie, my tropical smoothie. I'm addicted to these. And guess what else I just got? Your book came. It just came yesterday. So I'm so excited. Yes, it just got here yesterday. So yes.
Ooh, bless your heart.
Yes.
Bless your heart.
Yes.
But you know what? We have more in common than you think. I'm addicted to tropical smoothie too. So maybe they need to sponsor both of us in something, okay?
That's right. Yes. I mean, I drink them every day. They're so addictive. I love them. Plus, I feel like I'm doing something healthy. So
yeah.
You know.
What's your favorite one?
I get Paradise Point and I add coconut to it. So that's so good. And I asked them to make it just a little sweet, not too sweet, just a little sweet. Because sometimes it's like a little bland, but yeah, that's my favorite one. How about you?
I've never tried that one with
it's
coconut.
Good. It's good. How about yours?
I get the acai berry boost and I get the island green. Those are the two that I get.
I had island green yesterday and I added coconut. Oh my gosh.
I gotta try that because I add coconut. Whey protein, but I don't add coconut. I'm missing out.
Yes, coconut makes all the difference. It's so good. I love it.
I have to try. See, you learn something every day. So if everyone that's tuning in for the first time, welcome to Tea and Conversation. I am Kendell Lenice. This is Tahanee. She is an amazing woman, but she's also a relationship columnist as well as an author. And you are a relationship columnist with Yandy Smith's magazine, right?
Yes, I was working with her. The magazine kind of slowed down, but yes, technically speaking, I am a writer for the magazine. Yes.
Okay, so is that how you got started in the being a relationship columnist, or were you a relationship coach before that?
Well, I got my title writing, for her in the relationship section. So, they labeled me the relationship columnist. Plus, I wrote the novel, so all of that just tied in together. Relationship columnist, and then there you have it. I just started writing articles about relationships outside of that as well, and doing interviews and things as such. So yeah, that's how I gained my title. Also, personal experience. Experience is the best teacher.
Let me tell you something, honey. That is definitely the best teacher. I don't care. I'm a life coach. I've been a life coach for 20 years. I do relationship coaching, all of that. I'm an author, but that personal experience can trump all of those accolades.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. And sometimes, we have like our elders tell us, I've been down the road before, you don't want to do it, but sometimes you just still go full speed ahead. And then we're telling someone else the same thing, after we've experienced it. So I feel like experience is the best teacher. So
it is, because whether you have the accolades or the title in front or behind your name, if you've never been through anything, I'm going to take what you say. Maybe I'm gonna listen, but I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. Now when you start saying, listen, honey, I've been through this, let me tell you about this.
Right.
Then you open up that ear a little stronger, like, now what now?
That's right. That's right. Yes, that's right. That's the truth.
So you talked about your book. You talked about your book. What book is that you're talking about? I know, but let the people know.
Well, this novel right here is called Lust Now, Cry Later. Many of us can identify. Well, I guess the title just says it all. Lust Now, Cry Later. The book covers everything, as I had, explained before, from HIV, from can you hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Oh yeah, so it covers everything from HIV to domestic violence to alcoholism, mental illness, molestation, racism, any and everything that you can possibly imagine is covered in this book right here. So this book right here, this right here is, man, I like every time I think about it, there's not one person who's read the book, who I've spoken to afterwards, who said, you know what, I can't relate, because it's someone in this book who they know in their personal life, or it could even be themselves, that this book touches on. Mainly, so because a lot of us go through things in life as children, and we really don't understand until we get in our older years as adults, like I always say, about the decisions we make later on in life. And then when we sit back and think about it, or really most importantly speak to a therapist, they're able to tell us, you know what, that wasn't normal. You know, growing up as a child, it wasn't normal for you to sit on Uncle Wilbert's lap and Uncle Wilbert touched you, you know, and, you know, then you say, okay, well, you know, at the time, it did seem kind of awkward. Maybe I did tell mom, maybe I did tell grandma, but it was brushed under the rug. So it just becomes this generational thing where people, you know, don't look at it until later on in life. So in this book, you just go through a journey with the author, with the character, and then you see why she makes the decisions that she makes based off of what she's going through as a child. And it's so easy for these things to just be brushed under the rug. So it covers it all. It covers it all. Homosexuality, I mean, everything. You know, down low men being afraid to come out because they don't want to be judged, Black men, because they're supposed to, you know, have this leadership role. So when you see feminine Black men, you know, you wonder, well, what happened to them in their lives, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes they say they're born like that. Sometimes they're molested as children and they end up turning that way. I mean, you really have to figure it out yourself when you read this.
I mean, that's so powerful. And the interview I did before you, she had her first baby at 11 years old and her second baby at 14. So when you talk about her baby was by a 21-year-old and she was 11.
Oh my gosh.
So when you're talking about what you're saying, that's real life, you know, and that's why that book is connecting with other people, because that's real life. You know, people are going through this, and I've never been an advocate for sitting on this person's lap and making your children, you know how some parents make their children hug this person and make their children, oh, go on over. I'm not for that. And I've never been for that. And it is creepy. It's, you know, so when you're talking about your book and how people is resonating with people, it's because there's some real stuff in there. So why this? Why did you decide? You could have wrote about anything. Why did you choose to write about these social and community and these real life issues?
Well, because I always look back on the books that I've read growing up, like by urban authors, Black authors, and a lot of the books always focused on the same thing, in my opinion: sex, money, drugs. Like, it was always that message: prostitution, you know, a guy in the hood selling drugs. And not everyone lives that type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, I can't identify with, you know, certain things in that area. I'm not a stripper. I've never been a stripper. You know, so when I'm reading these books and I'm seeing these books about this fast lifestyle that I can't identify, you know, it's entertaining, but I want to be able to connect with the characters and at least one of the books, so that I can feel like, you know what, they're talking to me. And then that's what intrigues me. That's what keeps me going and wanting to learn more, because through these characters, you're able to find out how to tackle the things in your life that you may be dealing with. So I wanted to write about something that we've all been affected by, like whether we've been affected directly or indirectly. We know of someone who has been molested. We know of people who have experienced racism. If you're an, you know, melanated colored person, you've experienced racism at some point or another. You know, you've been in a toxic relationship as a woman. You know someone,
or you could have been the toxic person in your relationship.
There you go.
It could have been right.
Yep. There you go.
So you wrote it in a novel form, talking about real issues.
Like my novel has about 8 different characters, and each character has gone through this certain situation. Like there's 2 characters specifically. One has been through child abuse, molestation, but the other one has been through abuse as a child, but it was more so verbal, physical, mental abuse. You know, her mother doesn't call her by her first name throughout her whole entire life. She's never she's never called her, you know, Natalia. It's always been B. Her name has always been B. So just that verbal,
you mean like B-I-T-C-H?
B-I-T-C-H. It's always been B. You know,
not like Queen B.
No,
what you talking about?
No,
okay.
It's like B.
I want to be clear.
You know,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And the girl started working at the age of 15, supporting her mother, who happened to be an alcoholic, you know, and then the mom has different men coming in and out. And in one scene in the book, I will give it away. Her mother woke up in the morning. She was 15 years old. Her mother drags her out of the room by her hair. And she tells her, you need to go to the store and go get me a pack of cigarettes. And the girl's like, you know, I was sleeping over. She said, I don't care. You just got paid. Go buy my cigarettes. She drags her out of the room. And as she's dragging her, her underwear are falling down. So she's exposed. So when she stands up to fix her underwear, her mother's boyfriend is sitting on the couch. And her mother said, don't you dare fix those underwear. You stand right there. And the guy's looking at her. He's like, wow, you got so big. Why did you just growing?
Wow.
So, I mean,
that just made my heart just drop.
Yeah, I mean, pube hairs are showing and everything. And if she even made an attempt to straighten her underwear, that was it. Her mom was going to like mop the floor with her, literally. So that was the point where she, you know, experienced just pure humiliation. I mean, and then a man sitting there just gawking at her, this pervert, just looking at this 15-year-old in her underwear that she can't fix, she can't adjust them. She has to stand there and just take that humiliation.
And that's it. So this is why I wanted to have my first guest and you on the same day, because you're talking about, your book is talking about some of the things that she lived. Wow. And when you're talking about that, welcome everyone. This is Tea and Conversations. This is my guest, Tahanee, and she's talking about her book. Hold it up. And she's talking about
Lust Now, Cry Later. I can't hear you.
And can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Lust Now and Cry Later is her book, and it's available everywhere. And she talks about everything that we're dealing with in the Black community and beyond. The things that people don't want to talk about, but she put it in a novel form, which I think is beautiful to do that. And did you ever think about, let me just write this book just straight away, let me talk about the facts that are happening, or did you always know you wanted to be a novel?
Well, I started out with short stories, but I always knew that I wanted to tackle certain things. Like I said, I wasn't reading in those novels that I, you know, happened to, you know, attain when I was older, you know, younger, these novels that I was reading as I was growing up. So I took a little bit out of each novel, and I just wanted to address, like I said, situations that have become normal, and not just urban families, Black families, but in families. You know, you have people who commit incest, and
you're absolutely right.
It's like, it's the norm. And in some cultures, you know, you can marry, you know, your first cousin. In some cultures, that's, I mean, it's normal, you know, but not when you're a child, you know, and you're, you know, 9 years old, and, you know, you're being touched inappropriately by a cousin that's like 21. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know that it's not right. And you know, I just felt like these sorts of things, it's just too common. Like, it's just become normal. It's like the normalcy now. It's like no one say, I mean, if someone wants to say something about it, they don't say anything about it because they're afraid of being ridiculed. They're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of being, you know, told, oh no, you're lying. Or, you know, a parent or a grandmother or whoever just, well, look, it happened to me when I was younger. You'll get over it. That happens all the time. And I've read so many comments, like whenever I go on YouTube and I look at, you know, people who share their story, like under the comments, like I was blown away how so many women and even men have been abused. And it's just like, it's the norm. Like, it's just the norm. And then even I touched on mental health, you know.
And today, and this month is National Mental Health Awareness Month, May. So I'm glad that you talk about that.
Yeah, and also lupus too. So shout out to my girlfriend Nicole. Her daughter passed from lupus a couple of years ago. Oh, yeah, wow. Hello Nicole, if you're watching. Yes, rest in peace.
Prayers to you, Nicole.
Yes. So I you know, I wanted to talk about mental health too, because think about it. What I just told you about this young lady who was pulled across, you know, dragged, and her underwear was showing, that right there mentally, that happens to you at an age like that. already your self-esteem has already been like tainted. You know, you're like, you know what, maybe I'm not worthy. You know, maybe I'm not worthy of being loved because look at how my mom is treating me. You know, maybe, you know, I have the body where I can get whatever I want from him because this grown man is looking at me now. So maybe I can use that to get what I want and to excel in life. And that's exactly what she does. She takes that negative situation she's gone through as a child and makes it even more negative as an adult growing up. And then she becomes the person who is the abuser. Her husband becomes the abused, which is really, really, really sad. I mean, it's just an ongoing cycle, ongoing cycle. And then she manipulates her young lover. Like, I mean, she's the most hated character in the book. I'm just gonna warn you right now. She's the most hated character in the book. But I enjoy writing from, you know, because when you write, you know, as an author and you create these characters, you have to become these characters. You do. I mean, I'm not an actor, but I can kind of understand how actors feel because when I'm writing certain, you know, scenes in the book, I have to really put myself in that position and I have to really embrace those emotions. And sometimes it can become very depressing. It can really become very depressing because I have to turn into this mean person, this villain, and that's not my character. But in order to, you know, get the message to the reader, I have to become that person. It's kind of hard to break out of it once I'm done, but I mean, I just give it my all. I make sure that, you know, the readers are able to connect with the characters. Then don't be so judgmental. You know, because it's kind of like a love-hate thing. Because even when I just was explaining to you about Natalia, you know, it was sad. You know, you kind of felt some humility. But then when you see her as an adult, it's like, oh, I can't stand her. But then you think back, you know what? It wasn't really her fault. You know, it's the way she was raised. So.
I mean, when you're, it's almost like, have you ever thought about, I'm sure you have, turning this into a movie or a play? Because as you're talking about it, that's what I can see in my head, and that's when you know it's a good book. That's when you know, like it would be a hard movie to watch, but it would be a good movie to watch.
Thank you. I hear that all of the time. Every person who has purchased this novel, that's the first thing they say. I can see this being a series. I can see this being a play. I can see it on Netflix. So yeah, I mean, I'm pushing for that. I would love it because when you think about it, the cycle goes on and on and on and on. Even when we're thinking about HIV, like even when we speak on HIV, like which is in the novel, it's on and on and on unless we educate ourselves and unless we're honest with one another and honest with ourselves. So of course, you know, this is timeless. Unfortunately, it's timeless until something really big happens. And I don't want to say I don't see it happening because, you know, God is able to do anything and everything, but people have to be willing to change. You know, you have to change the condition, you know, of your heart and your mind before you see anything, you know, positive happen.
Why do you think it's difficult for people to change what's up here?
Because you know why? A lot of us have been programmed, and we've been programmed from the time of slavery, and like unknowingly, and that even begins with us as being women and not really recognizing the beauty that we have, not only externally but within, because we were getting an image from someone's opinion of what the standard of beauty should be, and that's a Caucasian woman. So already feel inferior. You feel inferior because you know what? I'm not light white, you know, I'm not a white person. I don't have long blonde hair. I don't have blue eyes, but that was the standard of beauty. That's what's been pounded and embedded in our mind over and over and over and over and over again. You know, at one point in time, we were told our hair was too nappy, our lips were too big, our butt was too big. So it's just so much confusion going on. And then if you don't have that in the household, and if you don't have those, you know, two parents in the household, the mother, you know, grooming you and showing you, you know what, you're beautiful no matter what, and then you watching the way your father treats your mother like a queen. So when you are missing those things in the home, that's where things get really hectic, because you don't know. You don't know how to decipher what's real and then what's false. And what's false is what you're seeing on TV. You know what I'm saying? That's someone else's opinion of what beauty is. We have to find beauty within ourselves and really just strip ourselves naked and really look at ourselves and really be honest. What is it that we love about ourselves? What is it that we would like to change about ourselves? But even some of the things we can't change, how can we accept those things? You know, and look at it and say, this is me, you know, this is who I am.
And that's so important, and it's so very well said. And that's so important because let's transition into relationships. So if all, as you take a sip, I love it. You're making me want one right now.
It's so good, girl. I know. It's hot outside too.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one today, and I'm gonna add that coconut.
Yep. And then get one when you're reading your book too, because it's just because it's gonna be some. I'm saying it's gonna be some scenes that's gonna get you heated, like upset. You're gonna need a nice cool drink to
cool you off. But let's talk about that. Getting to know yourself. And oftentimes, Miss Relationship Experts, oftentimes people don't get to know themselves. They don't love themselves, but I want a man, I want a woman. I need somebody to make me whole. I need somebody to complete me. When you don't know who you are, and you don't know where you're going, and you don't know who the right person is for you, you just want that somebody, that anybody. Let's talk about that for a moment. What do you tell that person who is not, they don't even have it together and they're not even knowing themselves, but they're looking for somebody else?
But you know why? Because people make it seem like if you don't, you know, have that significant other, and I'm going to speak from a woman's point of view, that you're lacking something, that you haven't accomplished something major in life. And as I said it before, that starts from home. Growing up, you know, a lot of women can also, I'm sure, you know, agree with this. Growing up, you know, you're told, I always say this all the time, at a certain age, you should be married. You should have a white picket fence. You should be in your career, and you should have children. So if you bypass that age and don't have those things, you start to feel like, okay, what's wrong with me? And the first person that comes that seems to have just, this is so sad. A lot of women are so quick to say, girl, I met a man, he is 35, he has a job, he got his own place, he got a car. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Isn't that what men are supposed to have at that age? But it's only us, the melanated colored women, who think that way. When you look at other races, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. So when you hear a melanated woman say those things, it's very sad, because you know what I say to myself, sister, that's what he's supposed to have at that age. He's not doing you any favor. He's not doing you any type of, you know, he's not this Prince Charming. A lot of times he's a dressed up trash can. And I don't want to be disrespectful, but that's how it happens. But because we're groomed.
Wait, let's pause. He's a dressed up trash can.
Yes.
That's deep on so many levels, because that is the thing. Let me tell you something, Tahanee. I had a girlfriend one time. And if she's watching, she knows exactly who she is. And she was a grown woman. And I remember she met a guy, and she was like, girl, he washed my car. He did this. I was like, and don't give him none either. You acting like he done climbed Mount Everest for you to go get the little kitty cat off the mountain. Like, what? That's the thing. But the thing was, she was not used to being treated well. So when someone did something as simple as wash her car, buy her lunch, pick up something she had from a store, picked it up for her, she called me. He took me to a museum. I was like, you know, you could have took yourself to a museum, right? You know that these are things that grown men do. And don't give him none. She was all giddy, and she was fully grown in her 40s. And I said, no. And that's what you're saying is absolutely right. And that's only us's who think like that. Because like he has this and that. At 35, like you said, he should have some semblance of his life together.
Right.
He should have something to offer you, to bring to the table, even if he got to bring the table. He needs to have something. Why do you think so many women just settle for good enough instead of great?
Because they don't want to be alone. And because a lot of times when a lot of women put out on the table what it is that they want, they're told by men, you being too picky. You want the perfect man. It ain't no perfect man. You know, so it's kind of like men will do it too. They'll kind of like condition you away to make you feel like you should be happy I'm doing this. You know how many women would be happy to have a NIGGA wash?
That's called gaslighting.
You know how many women
that's gaslighting right there.
But because they don't know and don't have standards, or haven't, you know, really sat there and got to know themselves before they got into these relationships, they're just going to take the next best thing or whatever they think, you know, it is coming, like, or whatever they feel, you know, is going to fulfill that stigma that has been put on us from when we were younger. What grandma said, you know, I was married to your grandfather when I was 21. So it's kind of like when you turn 21 and you're not married like grandma, or you're not married like mommy when she was 25, you know, and had me and had that, you kind of feel like, well, what's wrong with me? So the next guy you see that comes that has a nice car and has his own place, you're like, okay, he's the one. Even though you know he's doing some crazy stuff, you turn a blind eye, but because you don't want to be alone, you're going to accept it. You don't want to be alone. And because you want to live up to them, those expectations that you were taught you should have when you were younger, you know, you're going to just settle. And then a guy sees that. And the problem with a lot of women is that they do this too much. They talk too much. Stop talking about your past relationships. Stop.
I just did a video about this. Come on, Tahanee, keep going.
Stop talking about your past relationships. Stop talking about the fact that he cheated on you, had a baby on you, and you still took him back. Stop telling these new men this stuff, because you know what you're telling him? Oh, this chick is weak. Okay, stop doing that, because you're not helping. The only thing you're doing is hurting and hindering yourself from really finding, not even finding, from really allowing and embracing who it is that God has for you. Because when the person is right, you don't have to do all of that. You don't need to. And I feel like it's nothing wrong with a man asking you, because, you know, because I ask questions too. If a man says to you, oh, so what happened in the past? You know, like, what happened in your past relationship? It just didn't work out. That's it. That's what you need to know. And if
you know what? That's all they deserve, because they don't deserve to be privy to all of your past information in your business.
That's right.
And saying responding how you want is a boss move.
That's right.
For a man and a woman. That's a true boss, and that's a true grown-up. It just didn't work out. I learned what I needed to learn. So now when I get into this, I know what I need to know. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Right. That's right.
People feel compelled when someone asks them a question to divulge everything. But you don't have to necessarily do that, because some of those things can be used against you. And some of those things, they might say, you know what, if she took it from him, or if he took it from her, then they're going to take it from me, and I'm going to treat her the same way. And then you wonder why you keep dating the same man or woman with a different face.
Yep. That's it. It's just a different face, same story. And another thing, a lot of women, you know, they feel like they want to do the pillow talk with their man at night, and then they want to tell their man what they've been through as a child. No, you want to talk to somebody, talk to a therapist, because no matter how much you know you may love him and you feel close to him, people will, like you said, use things against you. So you want to talk to somebody, you go talk to a daggone therapist. Stop telling your business to your friends. Stop telling your business to your man. Of course, you love them and all that, but people are judgmental. Whether you want to believe it or not, people are judgmental, and they will hold things over your head. Just because, especially if you're someone who's successful and you're someone who's doing it, you know, doing your thing and stuff like that, people love to have something over your head. Anything to throw back up in your face and to make you feel to go back to that place you probably have grown from. You know, to put you back in that rut again. But you have to be strong and know who the people are who are surrounding you. Know your circle. You have to know your circle and be very selective. And I've just started becoming very selective as I've gotten older.
And you deserve that. A diva forever says you ask them a question and they tell you their whole life story. The topic, Eric, is we're talking about relationships with relationship columnists or relationship experts, Tahanee. That's what we're talking about. Eric just joined. Normally I pin that. I didn't pin that today, but that's what we're talking about. But yes, so go more on that. And I think that that's so important what you said. And I heard what you said. You said you have lately become more selective. And people, you have to know your worth and you have to know your value. And I've heard women say out of my own ears, and I said, skirt, what did you say? I would rather have a piece of man than no man at all. I heard someone say that. I've heard men sell themselves short and just get any old piece of behind, really, and not really be selective. Talk about why you are selective now and why you weren't before.
Well, experience. Like I said, experience is the best teacher. And those people who I thought were down for me, I realized that you're not going to get everything that you put into every relationship. And I always compare to what my mom always says. It's kind of like an ATM. I was constantly making deposits and, you know, never was able to get withdrawals from those ATMs, those people. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know, I just started to feel like, you know, there were certain levels in life that I was working towards, and a lot of things people, you know, would like say, would kind of like shoot down if I had an idea. But then I realized the reason why they're doing this is because I looked at the condition of their lives and the things that they wanted to be or tried to accomplish and stopped. They never went back to it. So it was so easy for them to criticize me. But at the same time, I said, you know what? The reason why they're criticizing me is because if they look at my accomplishments, it makes them look at the things that they didn't accomplish in their own lives. So that gives them time to be more critical, you know, about what I have going on in my life. And I said, I don't need those type of people around me. I really don't. So I decided to just like cut ties with a lot of people. And my life hasn't been more peaceful than ever. Like, it's just a wonderful thing when you see what you see and you don't ignore the signs and you don't turn the blind eye because you're basing it on, well, that's a family member, you know, or that's somebody I knew since I was 10 years old. Listen, that doesn't mean anything. You know, people are here for a reason, and then people are here, you know, for a season, you know that saying, and not everybody is going to be able to travel with you to the next level. Right. So it's kind of like when you have sour milk. You know, you keep it around for a long time, it starts to spoil. I'm not drinking sour milk. I'm going to throw it away and get rid of it. People do live past, or people do make themselves, you know, relevant in your life past their expiration date.
Come on
and
now.
once it comes
but
past that expiration date, it starts to stink.
Come on.
So
but
you gotta go.
That's that piece of man, though, Tahanee. That's that, well, I want some cereal so bad that I'm going to use that spoiled milk just a little bit because I need the taste of that cereal and that milk. And they're drinking sour milk in their cereal because they're that desperate to have it. And that's what a lot of these men and women are doing. They're so desperate. They're drinking the sour milk beyond the expiration date.
And guess what, too? They're drinking that sour milk, and internally it's making them sick. Internally, it's making them sick. So internally, when you're drinking that sour milk and you're taking on these toxic relationships, internally breaking you down, breaking you down, breaking you down, breaking you down. Just like a diamond being chipped away, breaking you down. Then it takes so much work to rebuild yourself. That's the problem. People have to put in the work. And the first step, I always say, is build the link with God. Build that link with your God. Because if you don't build the link with God, you are just lost. You have no direction.
Say
Stop
that
making
again,
these
Tahanee.
men your God. Stop worshiping these men, ladies. Men stop worshiping these women. But I'm speaking mainly to the ladies. Stop making these men your gods. Because they're going to let you down. They're going to let you down. And then you can't get upset with somebody for being human.
Sip my tea on that one.
You know what I'm saying? Look. You can't sip your tea without really sipping your tea and drinking this smoothie and really getting it. Because let me tell you something. People are human, okay? And once you realize that, you'll be a better person. When you stop putting a person, you know, in charge of looking out for you and guarding and protecting your heart, you'll be a better person, because people make mistakes all the time. I find myself, you know, sometimes I can't even trust the decision I might make. One day I might wake up. I might wake up one day and say, you know what, I want coffee, but I end up drinking tea. So why in the hell would I give my heart to somebody who I know is capable of messing up? Stop putting that responsibility on somebody, especially when it comes to common sense. You know how to think logically.
It's too much responsibility for you to put all that love on them. Right. They're supposed to do all of this stuff for you while you sit back and don't do nothing for your own life and your own love life. You want them to do everything. You want them to just come and Captain Saver, you know what, and just want them to just do it. And you're not doing anything.
No.
To better yourself.
And then, like, you see the signs, but then you're like, you know what? I done invested 10 years into this. You know, if I just hold on a little longer, maybe he'll change. You know, you're looking for somebody to change. You're looking for somebody to love you for who you are. But if they don't see it, it's never going to happen. If a person can't appreciate you for who you are, you're never going to get that love that you're looking for. It's just not going to happen. So you give it to yourself, or just wait. It's just patience. Patience. God is a loving God. God is not going to bring us something that's going to harm us. You know, we all have free will. You know,
that's why we have to get in tune and touch with him. You know, so we know when he's talking to us, and when we know he's saying run the other way. You know what I'm saying?
You see the signs and the exits. You see the
red flags are there, and they're highlighted, and they're going like this. Yep. And you still like this. You can't say.
Yep. Like I always say, you're never gonna get a sign without an exit. You know, when you're driving on that highway.
Yep. Come on now.
And it's time for you to get off at that exit. You're gonna see that sign first.
Come on.
Then the exit comes after. So we see the signs of these relationships, but God is never gonna give us a sign without an exit. We just choose to keep on driving till we run out of gas, or until we just, you know, till the engine just blow up.
Absolutely, we going all out in the way. We going where we don't have no business going. We got where somebody didn't even ask us to come. We still driving. And we passed our exit. Long time ago.
Listen, we using a GPS, and it's taking us all around the world. We looking for the GPS to tell us we done seen the sign right there.
Right. But you know what? That's so true. That's so true. Because you've had GPS on, that's real. That's the realest thing, Tahanee, because you'd be like, I know that's right there, but the GPS is taking me there. I'm not listening to this GPS. I'm listening to my intuition, what God is telling me. He said, get off this exit right now.
That's right. That's right.
So Eric has a good question. He said, what if you're unevenly yoked?
If you're uneven. So this is the thing. When you're unevenly yoked, this is a question you have to ask yourself. Am I going to stay stagnated until they come to my level? Or am I going to continue to rise and then let them do what they do until, you know, they decide they're ready to move on? You know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes a choice where it's either him or me. And when I say it's either him or me, meaning, am I going to stay at this level and wait for him to come up? Because I don't like to use the term pulling him up. A person has to want it. They have to want it. You can lay it out. I mean, you can get the job for him. You can do all of these things. But if he doesn't want it, it's not going to happen. So in the meantime, in between time, you just sit there and wait around. What do? You stop growing because of the decisions that they made, not wanting to grow. So if you see that you're not evenly yoked, you need to keep it moving. And if they want you, they will come to you. They will come to you if they want you and if they feel like you're worthy. But most importantly, they feel like they're worthy of a better life. It's not, because at this point, it's not even about you. When it comes to that, a lot of people need to realize and understand when you're in a relationship, it comes a point in time when a person does what they want to do and it doesn't mean that they don't love you, but sometimes it's just not about you. Stop taking things so serious. It's just not about you sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Newsflash, everything ain't about you.
It's not, and you know what's sad? You need to make sure that in your life, everything's not about them either. Because sometimes a lot of women will get to a point where they're like, I done gave up my career for this man. I done had kids for this man, and he hasn't sacrificed a damn thing. Yeah. You can't get mad at him. That's the decision that you made. And then that's what it all boils down to, you giving that responsibility for somebody to look out for your better being. Even though we, you know, we want it to be that way when we're married, when we're in a relationship, it's supposed to be that way. But people are human, and you have to look out for you and your children who are helping us. That's your responsibility. A man should do it, you know, that's his job. But hey, you know, it happens.
Absolutely. I mean, this is so good, Tahanee. This is so good. Because many people, you're welcome. Many people want other people to validate them. Ain't nothing going on. Ain't nothing validated but parking, y'all. But y'all want somebody else to validate you. Let's talk about the importance of self-love in waiting until God says this is the right mate.
The importance of self-love. How I started to experience self-love, I'm going to show you. And what I really started doing was building
vision board.
Building a vision board. I started out with an empty canvas, and I pretended like that empty canvas was me just starting life all over again from scratch. I was a newborn, okay? And what I started doing was every day cutting out little things from magazines, like things that I wanted to accomplish, things that, you know, I wanted to be, people I wanted to surround myself with. And right then and there, when I looked at that vision board, when it was done, I had a better sense of who I was, and I started to let go of the past. When you become more in tune with yourself and self-love, you learn to let go of the past. Because I once heard to live in the past is to be dead in the future, or dead in the present. And I didn't want to be dead anymore. I didn't want to keep on reliving those traumatizing moments and those bad relationships in my life. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted something more, you know, and I had to feel it. You know, I had to honestly and genuinely feel it. And I had to pray. I had to pray. And when I prayed, I asked God to please, you know, give me that road that's going to take me to success. Take me to a place where I accept me the way that I am, you know, just how I am, with tattoos and all, with whatever, the way that I am, you know, let me be able to express how I feel without feeling like, you know, I'm dumb. Because sometimes, you know, it was times when I would be like in a meeting with a bunch of corporate people, right? And, you know, I would have other, you know, people who are melanated or whatever, and they would speak and they put on that voice and stuff like that, or they may be talking about something I wasn't familiar with. And because, you know, I felt like I didn't have like experience in that area, I was afraid to speak up because I didn't want them to judge me. Like, she don't know what the hell she's talking about. She just she just another, you know, sometimes, you know,
although you're very accomplished.
Thank you. You know, and sometimes, and you are too, and sometimes, like, I would feel like, you know what, I want to speak up, but then I don't want to be judged. But then I started looking around. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Does it really matter what this person says? Because once I leave out of this office, they don't control anything that happens in my life. They don't control my future unless I give them that power. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get to a point where I was comfortable with me. And a lot of times, back in my younger years, I would constantly change my appearance. I mean, short hair, blonde hair. I mean, I did any and everything I could possibly think of because I thought that externally it would make me feel better internally. And
that's powerful.
I was doing, I promise you, Kendell, I would like braid my hair one week and then the next week take it out because it just didn't make me feel pretty. No matter how many times people would tell me, oh, you're beautiful, I just didn't feel it. It's something that I had to feel.
And that's so powerful, Tahanee, because you just, on the outside and inside, you're just a beautiful, beautiful woman.
Thank you.
And that's what I want. You're welcome. Thank you. And that's what I want people to know, that, you know, you struggled with that. And you had to learn to love yourself again by starting from scratch. Do you know how many people that's going to touch with you saying that? And they're like, wait a minute, she's beautiful. She's accomplished. Wait a minute. You know, so thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for allowing me to. It took a very long, and therapy. No,
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, people will try to make you feel like you're crazy if you tell them that you see a therapist.
No.
Don't let that bother you.
No.
Don't. Because most of the time, people that feel that way, they need therapy themselves more than you.
Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody.
Yes, I mean, more than you. There's nothing wrong with getting it out. And I know sometimes you want to talk to our parents and our siblings, but everything is not for everybody. This is the reason why you speak to a therapist, because you can let it out without being judged, without feeling like, you know, it's going to be thrown back up in your face. So therapy was something that I had to go through, and I love it. I mean, it's a wonderful.
It's National Mental Health Awareness Month, people. May I want to stress that again. And as Tahanee said, lupus is as well.
Yes.
But Tahanee, I want to talk to you about this because it's so much, and I still want to talk about your show that I'm supposed to be on later.
I know it's filming. We're filming Saturday. Yeah,
that's such a dope show. But I want to talk about. So I did an interview with Nene Leakes last week that went viral, and we were talking about getting your happy back, and I've often done videos about that. So when Nene said, I want to get my happy back, I'm getting my happy back, how do women lose their happy in relationships, and what is the one tip you can teach them to get their happy back?
I'm sorry, and men might be upset, but you ladies, okay, if it's a relationship that's just starting off, stop falling into like the whole routine of speaking to the man every single day. Like every single day, you're text messaging, you're calling, because you know what, self-consciously, you're putting yourself on a schedule. You're putting, and you don't even know that. So as soon as he doesn't hear from you, it's kind of like, okay, you know what? I know she's calling at this time, and if I don't hear from her, it's a control thing. Then he throws in your face, why you didn't call? And then if you're getting, no, he really cares because he's asking. No, because guess what? When Friday comes and you call him and he don't pick up, you can't say anything because it's gonna happen. He's gonna do it for you. So you better do it first, and you better keep that independence.
Take your power back. That's
right.
Your power
That's
back.
right.
You don't give anybody your power.
Don't.
The minute you give your power away, you can kiss it goodbye. It's bye-bye.
Never give away your brain, your mind, and your heart to the wrong person. I just say maintain
your power or your happy either. Don't give your happy to someone else, and don't hold someone else responsible for your happy.
That's right. That's right. And always maintain that independence. If you were the type of person who enjoyed drawing or who enjoyed writing music, writing poetry, keep your independence, keep your individuality, because we all know that when you become one with someone, a lot of people like to really take that, oh, we're one, everything, you know, this is ours, it's together. No, you have to still maintain.
And someone said don't give your money away either.
I know.
I just give your money, and Eric said you lose your happiness when you think of the wrong thing.
Yep. No, and it's so true. Like people start to forget who they are, and then you know I've seen it happen, and it's happened to me before, and I'm sure a lot of people can probably you know confirm this too. Have you ever like haven't heard from that special someone, right? Like you didn't get the text that day, and then your day is just like so. But as soon as you see their number, it's like everything just, that's sad.
Yep, like, I've seen it.
That's sad. Like a text message.
Shoot, hell, I think that was me before. I remember being that way.
That was
before.
Me.
Yeah, when you like, oh my God, why didn't they call? You all kicking the can, and as soon as they call, your whole mood changes. That's giving somebody that power.
Yep, and family see it too. And family see it
like,
too.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. You must have got a call. I don't like that nigga. Don't bring him around here. Let me tell you.
And now you skipping through tulips because he done text you back.
Yup, you happy.
Look, he said K. He didn't even say nothing. He said okay, and you all happy now.
You are.
He responded from 2 days ago.
Right. You know, that's sad, but then you know that
women sit on that phone. They sit on that phone. Men sit on that phone too. Let's be clear.
They do. Of course they do. Especially at nighttime on Instagram. That's their favorite thing to do. They tell you they going to bed. They up there liking Instagram model pics. I know how that goes. I know. So you know, like ladies, just don't give up on your independence. Like don't don't lose yourself getting caught up in a man. Like I said before, stop making these men your God. Stop worshiping these men. They're just men. He's just a man.
Yeah.
Like my mom
just
always
a
said,
man, right?
He's just a man, you know.
He's just a man.
I mean, and men come and go. You know, they come and they go. The worst thing you could ever do is try to make a man, you know, make your dream man out of somebody who's a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
And you see he's a nightmare, but you're just trying to turn the blind eye just because you don't want to be alone. No. Sorry.
We're going to definitely have Tahanee back for part 2, because I want to talk about the men the next time you come on. We're going to dedicate that to the men.
Yes.
So, because there's no male bashing here. We're talking to the ladies today, and some of the men are still getting something from it, which is amazing, because we're giving you the inside, right? And then we're going to talk about, I'm going to have her back, and we're going to work out something where she's going to come and talk about the men. But I don't want to not talk about your show, and I'm still going to be on that. You know why I'm not coming now, but I'm still going to be on that. So talk about that show quickly, your show.
Yes.
Tell them the name of it and tell them where they can see it and the concept. I love the name.
It's called Bedroom Busters and Bites. And this show is with myself, my family, and a bunch of our friends and other family members. What I do is I host a show. It's based on cooking and hot topics, fun facts. So I have a guest come on that may want to, you know, cook a delicious meal, one of their favorite meals. We're in the kitchen, we're cooking, we're conversing. Then on the other side, you have 4 guests sitting at the table, and we're all engaging in conversation. This person's cooking the meal, letting you know what the ingredients are, and afterwards we all eat the meal. We talk about whether we like it or not, and it's just a bunch of family and friends coming together. It's called Bedroom Busters and Bites. The concept bedroom comes from us because we're all wearing pajamas. So everyone's on the show, you know, and they're wearing pajamas. Bites is obviously the food. And then the buster would be a really, really like interesting, controversial topic, like, or an interesting
Talk
fact.
about the one you talked about in Maryland.
Tell them. In Maryland, okay, now I find weird news all over the world, but in Maryland, it's illegal to have anal sex. That's one thing. You can't have
Did
anal
y'all know that?
And
in Maryland, and when she told me that, in Virginia, talk about the Virginia.
And in Virginia, you're not allowed to have sex in the daytime with your socks on. And also in Maryland, you can't own, I think it's Maryland, you can't own more than 2 dildos. So these are the busters. Like these are the things that make you say, what in the world? And then also there's another.
Y'all know y'all out there breaking the rules. Y'all know y'all breaking the rules.
Look, it's somebody right now that's breaking the rules. Okay?
Yep, right now.
Somebody right now. Somebody right now trying to hide those stash of dildos underneath their bed right now. But so then there's another state, I can't remember, but you're allowed to have sex with an animal as long as it's in a position that humans and animals can, you know.
That is so crazy. Let me tell you, Tahanee, I love the concept, and thank you for the invite. I'm still coming.
Yes.
I know what pajamas I'm wearing, and I know what I'm gonna cook. So you know, make sure maybe next month. I can't come, of course, this Saturday, but next month I think I'll be back, or whenever you tape again. I just love you, girl.
I love you too. And guess what? Something special. You guys can tune in. Saturday we'll do an after show, so you'll get to see some of it. So we'll do a live after show on Saturday.
Good. Tell them the time and tell them where they can see this show.
Well, the show is on YouTube. It's called Bedroom Busters and Bites. We air every Wednesday, but we're going to be filming season 3 this Saturday, God willing, coming up. And then I'll have the schedule once we're done airing. Shout out to PV Studios. That's the producer. I'm sorry, the director of the show. The videographer. He's amazing. So yes, I will definitely keep everybody posted, but you can watch past episodes on YouTube. Bedroom Busters and Bites with Tahanee.
And quickly, we got a couple of minutes because you know how IG Live acts up at the end. I don't want them to cut us off.
And this was me with short hair when I was going through those phases.
And it's cute.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, I really had the short hair. I was going through a little, you know, phase.
Some body, yaddy on that too.
Yeah, that's actually a real picture. He just made it into a cartoon.
Wow. Okay, I see what you're working with.
Yeah.
And show the book. Pick up the book real quick. It's behind you. Oh, there's one behind. Oh, there's one in front of you too.
I got him.
Lust Now, Cry Later. Get her book everywhere. You can get it everywhere. If you don't know where to get it, Google it and tell them real quick how they can follow you, Tahanee, and how they can reach you.
You can follow me on Instagram. My name is @totally Tahanee, Tahanee. You can go on my website, tahanee.org, tahanee.org. The website is being revamped, so it's a lot going on with that. And then also, you can find me on Facebook, Tahanee's Arena, and of course, Bedroom Buses and Bites. Shout out to my wonderful publicist, Nicole Brown. She's the best. Head Tables, I see you on. Then everyone else who tuned in, can love you, everyone. So thank you so much.
Savvy, everybody. It's so many people that came. Thank you so much for watching Tea and Conversation with Tahanee. Everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I can't wait to see you, girl, and have you on the show.
I know. I can't wait to be on. We're going to have a good time. Yes. But before that, we'll work it out. Look, with Nicole, she's right on here. We'll get Tahanee back on here, and we're going to dedicate that show to the men. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Tahanee is amazing. Make sure you follow her.
Thank you.
She is a relationship expert, an author, a writer, a content creator. She is doing big things. And if you see yourself in her, where she said she had to learn how to love herself again from scratch. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. And like I said, when Nene was talking about getting her happy back, this is the season to get your happy back. This is the season to love on yourself. Stop looking for a relationship until you do just that. This is Tea and Conversation. Where's your smoothie?
And I want to tell you, we're going to talk about this too, because you're going to have read this book. I want you to tell me how you feel. Like, tell me everything.
I am. I want to read it. I got to get it's deep and that's good. And we're going to talk some more about that book, and I'm definitely going to read that. Bye, everyone. Tahanee,
bye.
Thank you so much. You are so welcome. It's a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Tea and Conversations. Make sure you subscribe to Tahanee's YouTube channel, as well as follow her on all social media platforms. If you have questions for her, definitely reach out to her. As you can see, she is amazing. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. Everything is Kendell Lenice. Follow me everywhere. I'm on all of it. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kendell Lenice. God bless.
See you guys. Bye.